What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away,
just killed a whole Death Star. How many people died? I did get in trouble for this answer at Star Wars Con. I got heat.
Yeah.
And in my mind, it's so funny to me because it literally, as a person who's outside and just a fan coming in, that was what was so beautiful and interesting to me. You know, people have been talking to me online about how Darth Vader is such a bad person. It's very clear, and it's very well established from those actions. But if you can't look and see that Anakin blowing up the Death Star possibly killed millions and millions of people. I'm going to get in trouble for saying this right now.
You should just shut up.
So, the acolyte is trending on X at about 8,767 posts. Not good. Okay, this is how you know something's not going to do well. It's not the feverish excitement of the usual suspects. It is the numbers. Okay, so if you look at the numbers of the dislikes on the official Star Wars channel, if you look at the comments everywhere, you're going to see people that are going to be feverishly crazy. And they're trying to hype it up. They've got a new premiere date or time for it, 9 o'clock tonight for the first 2 episodes. And the usual suspects, Hidalgo's wife himself saw it. They love it, which guarantees the fans will hate it. Okay, that's just a guarantee that we'll hate it. You know, this is shaping up to be a disaster. Now, I want to talk about the premiere time. I'm shocked by the fact that we have this happening right now. Normally, TV shows like this on Disney that are big end up at midnight on a Wednesday or a Tuesday. Okay, so 9 o'clock, I question that time because to me, it's about, in the United States, it's about prime time for TV watching. I won't be watching it. I'll probably put a movie on. My suggestion is, if you want Kathy to look stupid, don't watch the show. If you want Hedlund to look as dumb as she is, don't watch the show. Okay? Remember, these people don't respect George Lucas. They don't respect the fans, and this was made to tell you to fuck off if you're not with their brand of personal politics. Okay? And to me, I think Disney knows it's gonna crash and burn. I mean, you can't deny almost 80% dislikes, and a good majority of the comments on the original trailer on the Disney or Star Wars channel on YouTube were negative. So I believe that Disney has taken notice of it and are duly ready to see this thing fail. But let's talk after this.
This is like what we understand to be Star Wars, like the idea that like that only came from George Lucas, that only George Lucas holds the key for what we understand to be Star Wars is just untrue. And I think the prequels are an excellent example of that. I mean, the idea that like when you're hiring a director, that everyone is sitting in there waiting for George Lucas and not for the person who's going to know to hire Ralph McQuarrie, that's the problem. That's the misogyny and the problem with the auteur myth as it stands today, because they're not thinking this is the person that will hire the right people and this is the person that will be able to create the lookbooks and direct people to get them to that place. They're just thinking, do you have all the answers? And the truth is that nobody does, and anybody that says they do feels sometimes like, well, I like this thing and I don't like that thing, and if you don't like the acolyte, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Like the reality is that Star Wars in and of itself is not just a vast universe full of many different characters, many different eras, but it is always, always, always about the spiritual journey of what it is to become who you are. And that's why I am so overwhelmed and grateful to be here, and beyond overwhelmed and grateful to be allowed as a filmmaker to experience what it is like to actually tactilely make something in this world. That is beyond my wildest dreams, and I can't wait to show you guys more. I wish I could.
The Force. Nobody understood the Force. Nobody, what they do is, and then they started other ones when I sold the company, and they, a lot of those ideas that were in there sort of got lost. But that's the way it is.
I think there was an assumption being made for quite a while that girls didn't care about Star Wars, or that girls weren't identifying with characters like Luke Skywalker or Han Solo. They were only identifying with...
Stop! Not one more crooked word! Your tongue could open a wine bottle!
She's never had an agent. It's not like she worships the devil.
Well, she doesn't have to. He worships her! Get out.
Be here all night.
Get out!
But you gotta ask yourself in the hours leading up to this atrocity being foisted on Disney Plus, why would they even think about making this? The question I have, and that's been bugging me, is why, knowing the market for garbage like this doesn't exist, would you put this out there anyway? And if it's some sort of false compassion for quote-unquote marginalized groups, that's bullshit. That's illogical. And if you're out there specifically to troll the fan base, and Kennedy whining about the fan base being, a vast majority of men, ignoring women like me, by the way. If you're going out there, like Leslie Headland is, to troll men, there are no white men in this. None, okay? None. And, I wouldn't have a problem with it if there wasn't a misandrist and or racist reason for it, okay? There's no true diversity in this. You can't have true diversity by removing somebody, okay? You can't, by removing the vast majority of the fans, you're not, and that's exactly what that is. This show should not exist. It is incoherent of them on every level to think fans are going to flock to this garbage. Because I know, as a fan, I won't. And the reason why I won't is because it's not Star Wars. When you hear Headland talk about Star Wars, and then George talking about how they got everything wrong, she's attacking George Lucas. She's for actually being the one that created Star Wars, when she basically opines that, George didn't hire Ralph McQuarrie, that is as stupid a statement as Charlie Barnett saying Anakin blew up the Death Star and then doubling down on it. And then, saying his favorite Star Wars movie is Wrath of Khan. It's like, are they aware that, you just, and you're looking at them going, why are you part of this? Part of it's money, part of it's prestige, because Star Wars, it still has that. I don't care what the shit pile of black pill channels have to say. But it's like, if you don't know anything about it, then you really shouldn't make any comments. I literally am still speechless that this thing ever made it to Disney Plus. But it's probably Kennedy's condolence prize. Okay, her consolation prize. Can't even, she didn't, Kennedy doesn't bring it up at Dodger Stadium. It takes the guy interviewing her to bring it up, and she says, oh, yeah. Why? And when she is interviewed, instead of talking about the shows, she immediately starts blaming the fans for them failing. So they already know it's going to fail. The fans don't want it. We didn't need it. We didn't have to have this shoved in our faces. This is just a middle finger, a mean-spirited middle finger to everybody, from people who think they're marginalized and they're not. I look at Leslie Headland and say, why don't you just make a personal show about your issues with your family and stop trying to be part of bigger tentpole movies and TV shows? Because you don't know what the fuck you're doing, and you sure as fuck don't know what you're talking about. There you go. But it's not officially trending, really. If you have an X account, which is bought and paid for, like I do, I have X Prime, they're not even showing it. Now, if you have just a regular unpaid account, it's got like almost 9,000 posts, which for a TV show that cost $180 million, we're told. Again, it sounds like the budget blew up. Good job, Kathy. You kind of go, this is bad, okay? This is bad. Oh, notice in the picture, two big idiots and Lee Jung-jae, and that girl that told the big idiot standing next to her to shut up. And this is funny. But I look at it and I go, this is going to fail. It already has. They know it. All right? They know it. Anyway, I got to go. This is stuff. Just telling people that want to see this, get your crash helmets, because you're going to be sad. Signing out. I'll see you around the galaxy.